Hey, have you come across commentators online who like to say Jacinda's the worst Prime Minister we've ever had in this country and it's New Zealand? And been like, is she though? Is she really? I mean, by all the measures that we use to tell whether or not a Prime Minister is doing a good job, she's actually right up there. The economy's grown, life expectancy's gone up, and while businesses might be suffering in the short term, people are still alive, so but I thought I'd give you a quick rundown on the Prime Ministers we've had over the last 40 years, so you can get an idea as to just where she kind of fits in the pantheon of where Prime Ministers screw up. So we'd have to start with Robert Muldoon, who was the only Prime Minister to ever breach the 1688 Bill of Rights. When he got into power, he went to the Governor-General and cancelled unilaterally by himself, like he made the decision himself to cancel the pension plan the previous Labour government had set up. He got so drunk one night that when a female MP said she was going to cross the floor about nuclear power and nuclear ships, that he called a snap election. And everybody knows that snap election doesn't give them much time. That was followed up by David Lange, who corporatised everything. Did a lot of good stuff as well, like the Homosexual Law Reform Act, but yeah, he corporatised everything, which meant that when Bolger got in and the next national government was there, they could sell everything off, which is pretty much what they did. They also absolutely gutted benefits. They sold off a whole bunch of assets. They had not a very good track record when it came to things like user pays, which they created for health and education. They set up student loans. In terms of fabric changing, that was probably the biggest changes we've had as a government in the last 40 years. Helen Clark came in, and to be honest, the worst thing that I could find about the Helen Clark government is that she was the one who started the flag referendum. John Key followed through on it, but she was the one that started it. John Key's party came in and started the housing crisis and also sold off assets and also gutted benefits. And then you've got Bill English, which, wasn't there for very long, so that doesn't count. Same with Jenny Shipley, wasn't there for very long, so she doesn't count. But now you've got Jacinda, and Jacinda's managed to... Housing's still an issue, but it's an inherited one that's really hard to fix. And we're still dealing with issues like inaffordability of health and education, and obviously crises around immigration because of what's going on. In terms of what this Prime Minister's had to handle compared to others, John Key had the Christchurch earthquake, and that's pretty much it in terms of disasters for the last little while. There was an earthquake in Edgecombe where a few people died in the 1980s. That was David Lange. But overall, no one else has had terrorist attacks, volcanic eruptions, and a pandemic to deal with at the same time as trying to keep the economy afloat and keep people alive. As a subjective scale, Jacinda's actually doing not too bad a job, even if you don't like her mandates.